Welcome to Symposium of Wild Hearts. I am your guide, Aisha Ophelia, and I have the pleasure of speaking to Emmanuel Bartholomew today. He is a business owner, an entrepreneur, a certified emotion code practitioner, as well as a heart math practitioner. So welcome, Emmanuel.
Hello, how are you doing?
I've been very excited about this because I got the privilege of working with Emmanuel doing some emotion code, which you'll find out about that modality in just a little bit. The way that I've been starting all of these sessions is just with a pause to go inward. And so it just gives people a chance to slow down and arrive and see what's up for them. And so what we're going to do is, actually that's perfect, is just flutter your eyes closed. And what we're doing is, in this space, we're getting curious about what's here for us. And we're just listening and noticing if there's any sensation in the body. Just getting quiet and noticing. And in this same space, I invite anyone who's here to set an intention for the next 60 minutes. What brought you here to this conversation? What are you curious about? What piece of knowledge can you walk away empowered with? Just taking a moment to set an intention. And then when you're ready, maybe you place your hand on your heart and you thank it for all that it does every single day. And we'll take one deep breath together, just in through the belly and out through the mouth. So 1, 2, 3. If you need more time and space with your intention or time here, just pause. And for those of you who are ready, we'll just flutter our eyes back open, come back to the here and the now. So I can kind of hear myself a tiny bit of feedback. Do you hear it? Does it sound strange to you?
I hear a little bit, but sure.
Okay, cool. I can also cut this part out, but do you have headphones at all? Like iPhone headphones?
No, I don't.
Okay, we'll just continue then. So what I've been doing, instead of reading people's bios, because all the information on Emmanuel will be below this video, is I've been doing a little thing that I kind of bit off of Jimmy Fallon. It's called, on his show, it's called Think Fast. Here, I'm just calling it 11 questions. And so it's really rapid fire. As soon as I ask you a question, you're answering it. It's almost like a playground for the subconscious. There's no wrong answers. So are you game for 11 questions?
Woo!
All right, so question 1 is a fill in the blank, and it's men just wanna
Love.
What are birds talking about when they sing?
Happiness.
Why is the sky so blue?
Woo, good question. The sky is so blue. To give us just hope of what life can look like, a clear picture of what life can look like.
I like it. Tell me a secret.
I love doing spontaneous stuff.
Well, the word's out now. So what was Stevie Wonder's first word?
What was Stevie Wonder's first word?
Just first thing that comes. You just, whatever's coming.
Hello.
Where do you feel the happiest?
Around people.
Say something wise.
All the answers are within.
How does your heart feel?
Open.
I like it. What's God's deal?
God's deal is to show us that we are God's within, and we are connected to the universe, and we can do anything that we put our
Nice. Who makes the rules?
We do.
What is the language of the heart? This is the last one.
Love.
Nice. Thank you. I always find that's it's a good way to get the energy flowing, and sometimes it even leads into the next part of the conversation. So having worked with you and knowing a little bit about this type of healing modality, and sometimes this is a true statement, I don't know how you feel about it, but we teach what we most need to learn. And so I'd love to get a snapshot of your life before you came into doing this healing work. For those of you who are watching, Emmanuel will go into great explanation about what the emotion code is, what heart math is, and how this healing modality works. But we're just wanting to kind of dig into your story a little bit first. So
a snapshot of my life.
Yeah. Kind of like leading up into, working with this type of modality.
Interesting. So I think it started when I was young. Coming up in the inner city.
Uh-huh.
A lack of role models, seeing things that wasn't pleasing to the heart or mind, forced me to constantly go within myself to find some sort of happiness, to stay sane. We didn't have a lot of emphasis on emotional health and wellness. So I think a lot of young people were suffering, didn't have the right people to run to deal with our deep emotions. I saw a lot of rough things growing up, and I just had to figure out how to deal with it. So I found myself being that kid talking to God. So if you saw me walking down the street, you probably would have thought I was talking to myself. And I was having a conversation with God, because there were so many things happening, and I really didn't have no one to speak with. So that was my journey. I saw a lot of friends go one direction and some go other directions. So some became victims to their environment, some through school, sports, and so forth. And it was always this decision, this choice to go right or go wrong. So that was a huge part of my life just growing up. And I found myself making the right decisions. I made wrong decisions, but I found myself going to the right side or the righteous side. I ended up having a child when I was 20 years old. Wasn't prepared for it, but it happened. And I had, again, a choice to make a decision to go one direction or the other. I had a job. I was a manager at a Pizza Hut. And God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, gave me an opportunity to get full custody of my daughter. And I ended up getting full custody of my daughter. I ended up starting a business. I dropped out of college when I had my daughter, so I ended up starting a business. That's when a real intense journey of self-development, seeking for answers, educating myself, learning how to love a young lady, raise a young lady, being a man, learning how to run a business and grow a business. All those things came by me just really self-educating myself. So that was a huge journey in my life. I ended up turning my business into an award-winning company, 6 figures, and just having lots of success, 12 employees, and raising my daughter just to be a bright, wise young lady. She's 15 now. She's she's taking college courses. She's in business school. She's in the A honor roll. She's a 9th grader going to 10th grade. She's respectful, polite. I think a great job. And even in that journey, I ran into a wall there where I found myself not being really fulfilled in life. Even when you think someone should, having their own business and nice house, car, all that good stuff. And can I keep expounding on this?
Yeah, definitely. I'm following you. I mean, I have maybe some questions, but I'm just going with the story for sure.
One day, my oldest brother, he decided to, he saw a lady get into an accident. and he pulled over on the side of the road. Another guy saw the accident. He pulled over. They ran across the highway and started to help the young lady, and a drunk driver drove into the whole accident. The guy who pulled over got decapitated. He died. My brother broke every single bone in his body. His leg got amputated.
Wow.
He has around like 6 months to live. Right now, kidneys are failing, everything. And when that happened,
So this was recent.
yeah, and
Wow.
I really realized that we have to live with purpose, because you just never know when life is going to change.
Yeah.
And you need to be prepared. So I found myself just hopping on a plane going to Costa Rica for 2 weeks, just running through the jungles and just, and I started to just do a lot of real deep soul searching. When I got on that journey, I started to really realize how important we are as human beings, and how we need to really take care of this being. When we come into the world, we don't come in with clothes. We don't come in with a car. We don't come in with a house. We come in naked with this vessel.
Yeah.
But we lack knowledge of this vessel, of this body. We know about our cell phones. We know about our computer. We know about Facebook.
So true.
We know about everything in the world, but we don't know about us as human beings. And that's where I really took this journey to help people understand who they really are. Discover.
Yeah.
That's the name of my company, my business, Discover You.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a powerful story, and sort of following it from the time you were young, it seems like you had this innate ability to, and maybe not innate because of your circumstances, you had to develop it, but that you did develop that relationship with your emotions and checking in with yourself and trying to get to know yourself. So it's almost like you set yourself up for success regardless of outside circumstances. And that's something that I've heard you, just from the short time we've known each other on Facebook, just very positive, uplifting. Circumstances are your circumstances, but we have sovereignty in all of this, and we can make certain decisions. Yeah, that's a beautiful, amazing story, and just send love to your brother, because you're right. Anything can change at any moment, and it's so important to know thyself. And so I'm curious, as we get into this conversation about emotions and knowing ourselves, what's the basis of emotion code? And you can tell me this before you get into your demo. I just want people to start to have an understanding of what the healing type of work that you're doing is.
So, first of all, let me ask you a question. And this is,
okay.
Hopefully everyone can learn from this. What would life be without emotions, without thought?
Very flat. It's hard to imagine. One note. You wouldn't be able to feel. That's a tough question.
We'll be like robots.
That's true. And I know a few people who are like that.
Yes. And so the emotion code deals with emotions. And because emotions are imperative to our existence, they play a major role in how this being functions and operates. And emotions, especially the low vibrating emotions. First of all, emotions, when we say emotions, I don't think it registers to people what emotions really are. First of all, emotion is energy.
Yeah, energy and motion.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also data. It's data. And this data can come in forms through an event. And so these emotions, this energy gets stored in our subconscious for information pertaining to an event, something that occurred. And it's often to keep us safe. Unfortunately, there's low vibrating emotions, low frequencies, and they get stored in the subconscious, but they also can throw the body into an imbalanced state. And what the emotion code does, it allows for us to utilize kinesiology to tap into that 99% of you, the subconscious.
Can you define kinesiology for people that don't know?
Kinesiology is muscle testing. And muscle testing is a way of finding truth and false through testing your muscles. So, for example, if I stick my arm out like this, or if I stick it sideways and I put down on it, if I ask you a statement and it's true, your arms, your muscles will stay strong because it's. And then if I ask you a statement and it's false, it'll get weak because it's. So it acts as if as a lie detector test for your body. And so regardless if you want to lie or not, your body's going to get either strong or weak. So we can ask questions to the body and get a yes or no response through your body either responding in a strong response or a weak response. So we utilize muscle testing to find out, where these emotions are trapped in the body. Because what happened is these emotions, first of all, they're produced in your organs. Your organs are like generators, your organs and glands, and they produce these trapped emotions. But this energy can get lodged anywhere in the body. And when it gets lodged in the body, it gets lodged in the muscle tissues, which causes pain. It gets lodged in the energy fields, which distort your energy fields. Because it's produced in your organs and glands, it will start to cause them to function at a very low function rate, which will trigger things like fatigue and all these other issues. And because the glands are also connected with muscle tissue, your meridians, everything flows together, it will throw your whole body off. So it's these emotions that are information that are getting trapped in your body, and it's causing our body just to not function properly. And so that's essentially what the emotion code allows for us to do, is find those emotions and get rid of them.
And release them, correct?
Release them.
Nice. Can you give us a little overview of heart math? I thought that was so powerful. And one of the things that drew me to the emotion code was the idea that we have heart walls, and that heart walls can block us in so many different ways. They can block us on a physical plane, like you said, aches and pains in the body. It can block us on an emotional plane where we're making, different decisions based on all these old hurts. Let's talk about the heart. It's like one of my favorite things.
So the heart is very dynamic, and we give a lot of conversation is based on how powerful the brain is. In recent studies, there's been a lot of talk about the heart. Now, if we go back thousands of years, our ancestors always talked about the heart. We go into the Bible, it talks about the heart and guarding your heart, protecting your heart. Science didn't have a way of measuring the power of the heart, and that's what the Heart Math Institution does. It has come up with ways to measure how powerful the heart actually is, and through measuring the heart, we've been able to find out that the heart communicates with the brain 6 seconds faster than the brain communicates with the heart and the rest of the body. So what they were measuring, they're like, wow, like the heart is sending messages before the brain even
can even. Yeah.
And then they realized that not only was it sending messages to the brain, but it was communicating with the rest of the body, the nervous system, before the brain even sent out messages. And it was sending a different communication to those areas. So they figured out that the heart has its own communication, its own intelligence, its own intuitive nature, and that sparked a lot of more research and conversations, because then they found out there's this magnetic field that spans anywhere from 3 to 12 feet outside of us. And because our heart is emotional center, it's sending information through this field. So going back to the heart wall now, so that's what the heart does. The heart communicates with our brain. It communicates with our glands. It communicates with our autonomic nervous system, our parasympathetic, sympathetic nervous system, which really controls the balance of our bodies, and puts us in the fight and flight mode, which just throws all type of stress hormones into our tissues and to our body, and also calms our body. And again, it sends information to our brain. So the emotions that we're experiencing is telling our brain this. In a magnetic field, it's sending that information out, but it's a magnetic field, so the same information is sending out. It's repelling that same type of energy. They say you attract what you are within.
Magnetic, yeah.
Yeah, so all this is coming from this heart right here. The magnetic field is 60 times more powerful than the magnetic field that comes from our brain.
Wow.
It's huge. And so that's what the Heart Math Institution is measuring and finding out when it comes to the power of our heart and how we can harmonize that system, how we can create a coherence from the brain and heart, so they're communicating and they're creating this coherence with all the organs and everything in the body and synchronizing this, so it's all communicating together in a harmonized fashion. So Heart Math Institution, which is huge, because when you create this brain and heart nice and communication connection, it's like you're taking a magnetic field that's 60 times powerful, and then another magnetic field. You're putting this all together, and you're just empowered superhero being when you get into this coherent state. And then on the other side, we have what is called a heart wall. These trapped emotions, what they do, they can create this wall around your heart, because this heart is so powerful. And the Heart Math Institution is bringing this science-based knowledge on how powerful the heart is. Well, these trapped emotions actually put a wall around this heart to protect it, because it's actually that powerful. And it's a barricade to protect our heart, but then there's a gift and a curse to it as well. Because these emotions, so let's say something as traumatic as molestation happened when you were young, and it happened by your father, let's say that. And you trapped emotions of betrayal, loss, heartache. You got some insecurity, some vulnerability, anxiety, despair, depression, anger, bitterness, guilt. These emotions from that experience will protect your heart, and it will create this wall around your heart. And in a time like that, you need to be protected. So the subconscious says, hey, I need to protect you. I need to guard you, because your heart is going to explode. You may commit suicide. You may go, whatever you may go through because of this event. I need to protect you, and I need you to have the information on what you experienced from this event, so it never happens again. So you put these emotions around your heart, and it's like a barricade. You're in this barricade now, and you're guarded. Love can't come in. You're probably not sending love out because you're so hurt. And we live our life damaged. The past is robbing our future. You hear it all the time. People are struggling from things that happened in the past. And when I hear that language, I'm hearing I have a heart wall. And you can't be mad at that 99% of you who is protecting you, because that's his goal. Once this vessel is over, that energy body, that spirit is, goes where it goes. And, and it's free, but the vessel is no longer here, so it has to preserve it. So it protects us. So can't be mad at the subconscious about that. But what happens is when it's time for us to love, we find ourselves sending those same emotions out to that magnetic field. So we're out to the world. I'm hurt. I'm angry. I feel abandoned. I'm betrayed. I've been betrayed. There's, I lack love unreceived, because these emotions, this energy, these frequencies have information in it. So we're sending that information out, but we're also attracting that as well.
Yeah.
So finding ourselves in relationships with unhealthy people who've been hurt the same way. And we bring that energy to us. We find ourselves self-sabotaging things in our lives because not only are we attracting bad situations to us, but if we find ourselves in a good situation, we're sending those same emotions to our minds.
Yeah.
That the heart communicates with the brain. So now we think in a way of a person who suffered from abandonment issues, who suffered from betrayal, who suffered from bitterness and anger and hatred. So we think in that way. So we find ourselves doing things to hurt ourselves. We hurt relationships. We find ourselves with low self-esteem, taking on jobs that are jobs we wouldn't even ever consider we're in our right state of mind, but we feel worthy to do more for ourselves. So then that affects our livelihood and environments we find ourselves in. It also sends that same information to our organs and glands. So we find ourselves sending low vibrational, low frequency energies to our glands and our organs, and they start to not operate properly. So now we find ourselves with body and physical ailments, pain, we're exhausted. We start to get diagnosed with depression, anxiety, fibromyalgia, all these different issues that they diagnose us with is because this information, these emotions that are being sent from our heart to our mind, to our bodies, to our organs, are being produced in those areas. And then that same information is being sent to our nervous system. And what's happening is these emotions are triggering our sympathetic nervous system, which produces cortisol, adrenaline, all these very high stressful hormones, and it's throwing our bodies off.
Yeah.
We find ourselves flooded with stress continuously all day long.
Yeah.
Life is like low, our immune system low. Go ahead.
So my question is, and this may lead into, I know that you've got some, a little presentation to share, but just that, living in the world, these are all emotions that we've come in contact with. Even if you've been on a healing path, this was a totally new experience for me. And as someone who identifies as, and we all are, but I'm really in touch with my energetic body. So an empath. So working with you, I felt a flush of new energy. And so I didn't have like a debilitating physical condition, but I was aware that there was like stuck energy somewhere. And there's probably many people who can identify everywhere from I've got a chronic illness to my life's just not quite working. So this is, for me, this is like a modality that everyone could use at some point. How do you feel about that? And then is that a good segue into anything that you've created that you want to share with people who are watching?
So could you clarify that?
Well, just that, like, this is something for everyone. This is a modality for everyone. There's people who would benefit on a physical level because they would have reduction in pain, they would have reduction in symptoms. And there's people who things just aren't working emotionally. Maybe they haven't manifested a physical symptom yet, but I'm just saying we're all under this sort of stress. Is this a thing that everyone can use regardless of how they even believe about this invisible Wi-Fi that we all have? We're all at different levels of trust with medicine that's not in a pill form. Yeah, I know there was a lot of stuff at once, but feel free to chime in on.
It goes back to the original question I asked you, what would life be without emotions and thoughts? So we're emotional, creatures or emotional species. So because of that right there, everyone can benefit from this type of work because it deals with the emotions and the bad emotions that get trapped, but it deals with our subconscious. And our subconscious is a part of us, and it's anywhere from 95 to 99% of our intelligence. So this subconscious is driving our car, and it archives everything. So every event, every experience, every emotion that you bring in, because your emotion is data, then it's trapped in your subconscious. So this modality just allows for us to deal with those thoughts, those emotions, those beliefs, all those different things that could be causing these emotions to get stressed. I mean, trapped. For example, with our clients, someone could be attempting to lose weight, and one of the issue with them losing weight is that they may not be okay with losing weight, or they may feel like they're not safe. So, we'll ask the question, do you feel safe? We know that when you don't feel safe, your subconscious tends to hold on to things.
Yeah.
So, question like that, and let's say we get a no on that response, then we'll ask the question, is there an underlying cause for you not feeling safe? Is this base?
And so for those who, can I pause you? For those who are watching, the way that in this type of emotional healing work that's determined is through that kinesiology. Some people use a pendulum. There's many different ways to get that answer from the subconscious, right? That's what you're talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
So
just want to make sure everyone understands.
Awesome. Thank you for that. And so then we will start to dive in and find out what is that emotional block that's causing you to not feel safe. That's causing you not to feel safe, or not to feel loved. Some people may have an issue with being loved. Like, are you okay with being loved? Is a question. And the subconscious may say, no, I'm not okay with being loved. Why are you not okay with being loved? Like, what's trapped in your database, in your information that's causing you not to be okay with being loved? I have clients that have lost the weight, but they're sabotaging themselves because they don't feel okay with being attractive. So there may be some underlying cause of why you're not okay with being attractive. Maybe something happened in life that when you did look attractive, you made some bad decisions, or some things happened. So your subconscious have archived that experience and attached some negative emotion with it. And anytime you find yourself in an attractive state and people are looking at you, you start feeling some type of way, and you start to self-sabotage it. You don't know why, but your subconscious knows why.
Yeah.
It's little things like that why everyone could utilize this type of work, because we're just going into your computer system and finding out what you have programmed that essentially sabotages your life or causes you to become imbalanced.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes total sense, and it's really, really powerful. So later, I don't know if you want to do a demo on me so people can see how it works. If you had anything that you wanted to share your screen. I'd love to see what you have, and then I can chime in with some questions. I just want to make sure everyone's understanding like what's possible here. I think like the conversation about the heart was so powerful, and it's starting to kind of, if not even the playing field, it's like we've always been so head centric, we overthink things, when the heart is this huge wisdom source that we can tap into and heal. So our invisible Wi-Fi, which is always like, it's putting information out and it's bringing things to us, it's in the state that we know that we're possible of. Does that make sense? That this is something that can help every person in so many different ways.
Well, one thing, if you research kinesiology, chiropractors use kinesiology. Anybody who's been to a chiropractor at least a couple of times in their life will realize, or will be aware of kinesiology. That's one reason why I love this modality, because it's not like too far-fetched on how we're getting these answers.
Yeah.
You can go to any college and learn about kinesiology. You can go online and research kinesiology, and there's, you can go probably get a course through Corsica or, on kinesiology. So it's not a strange or foreign approach to how we get our answers.
Yeah, it might be new to some people, but there is science backing it. And even with the divining tools, that's how people find water underneath the ground with wells. So a pendulum is just an extension of that. You know, if people are willing to, you know, just stretch their imagination a little bit about what's possible. There's all these like, I don't want to call this fringe, because I think the people who are watching it totally get it. But for the people that feel challenged by it, I have a teacher that's like, you know, the truth doesn't care if you believe in it or not. This, I mean, you know, this can work for anybody.
Well, yeah, and a lot of my clients, it's amazing because they've been suffering from chronic pain and different issues for 12 years, insomnia, 20 years on medication. And it's in 10 minutes, 10 to 35 minutes, I can remove the pain. Just asking the subconscious, hey, where's the pain lodged at?
Yeah.
You know, if they say, hey, I'm having this pain in my lower back, I just ask the subconscious simple questions like, is there a trapped emotion causing this pain? Is there a trapped emotion causing this pain on the left side of the back? Can we release this pain? Sure. Can we release this emotion causing this pain? I get a yes response. Is this is it this emotion? We use a card like this, and we really just go through by columns and rows and find out exactly what emotion is trapped in the area. We release it with a magnet, and we just take this magnet and we just roll it down the governor meridian of our client times, and ask the subconscious, is that emotion released? Subconscious says yes. Ask, is the pain released? Subconscious says yes. We say, take a deep breath, take 10 steps, and let me know if the pain is gone. They take 10 steps and 10 years of pain.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's phenomenal.
You know, I have clients that are on lists to get organs and stuff removed. And 35 minutes, the pain is gone. They're off the list. They still have an organ and gland. I'm talking about these doctors are willing to take away a whole reproductive system and major things. Like, you can no longer have children.
Yeah.
And we're just talking about maybe 5 emotions that are trapped in that area that's causing pain.
So can you talk a little bit about how this modality was discovered? We talked a little bit about the science behind what's happening, but can you tell me about how the different emotions were categorized and a little bit about how it got started?
So there's a chiropractor by the name of Dr. Bradley Nelson, and he's the founder of the Emotion Code. And he was a chiropractor. And he found himself like not being able to heal people. His clients kept coming back with the same pain. And he found himself like just constantly praying, like, Lord, can you please help me do this? And one day he was able to use kinesiology and muscle tests, and he found out that everything was emotionally based. And then he found out just through using a magnet, he could release that emotion and the pain would leave. And it got to a point where a client would come in and he wouldn't crack the back or nothing. He would just muscle test, find out what emotion was, where it was trapped, and just release it, and they were pain free. And he got to a point where he realized his clients didn't even have to come into the office. He could just do it for them while they were at home.
Yeah. The proxy.
Yeah, the proxy. And so this whole modality just came by way of prayer. Surrendering it to a higher source, a higher intelligence of energy, and it brought the answers. And that's the power we possess.
That's right.
By just surrendering to the universe, allowing the universe to, guide us and, almost give us what we demand of it.
Yeah.
Our universe, we can just connect with this universe. And a lot of people don't understand that. But you won't understand it until you understand that you are an energetic being.
Exactly. We have to understand ourselves better about how we operate, and then we can see ourselves better reflected out there. And then I was just going to say that the proof really is in the pudding. There's been hundreds of thousands of people who have, I've heard miraculous stories that have, been healed through working with this. And so I just think it's amazing. Truly, truly amazing work.
And One thing I think is very important is that people really take the time out to dive in themselves. And I'm not talking about getting a Napoleon Hill book or John Maxwell. You know, books are great. They give us understanding and insight that could possibly plant the seed, but just go within yourself. Start doing deep soul searching. All these modalities are just tools that we
exactly
use to go with. The answers are right within you.
Mm-hmm.
It's everything has an energy body to it. Anything in a physical form first was energy. And just go and get a periodic table, right? Get a periodic table, gold, platinum, everything that's on that table, you're going to see it has a negative charge and a positive charge. What is that telling you? It is a negative energy, a positive energy, and it manifests into a physical form. Once you realize that, then you can accept the fact that you are an energetic being as well.
Yeah.
And you realize that you are energy, then all of this starts to really make sense. Everything is energy first.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I have clients that are like really struggling with abundance, or with some type of chronic pain or something of that sort, or fatigue. They'll have a pathogen in them, and it won't be a physical pathogen. Like they won't have a live virus in them. Maybe they had one 10 years ago. It won't be the die-off. It will be the energy of the pathogen.
That's
so
so interesting.
Destroy the virus, but the energy of the virus will still be living in them as if they had a physical virus, and they'll be doing the same exact thing as the physical virus would do, but in an energetic form. It'll be robbing them of their life. They'll have Crohn's disease. They'll have all these different things that the doctor would diagnose them of, and it's just the energy of a virus. You get rid of the energy in their new life. So, that's just a testament of how this energy works. Everything has energy body to it.
Yeah.
We come to terms with the fact that we're energetic beings. We're energy.
I love it. So for the last little bit, do you feel comfortable doing a little demo on me, or did you have something that you wanted to present?
I did have something I wanted to present because, we deal with trapped emotion, but we deal with energy. And I want to just kind of show how dynamic the system I utilize with this body code, emotion code work, and really finding what's causing you to be imbalanced. And we have around 270 imbalances that can occur in the body and really cause imbalances within the body. So,
I have a question. What are the top ones? And we can save this for just that you've noticed.
Pathogens.
Okay.
Imbalance.
Or just stuck emotions.
Yeah. Well, here, I want to share that with you. Let me see.
Okay.
Let me share my screen. This is not fun. Let's see how this works. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So this is a body code, and we have 6 categories. So we have energies, circuits and systems, toxins, nutrition and lifestyle, misalignment, pathogens.
Mm-hmm.
When we ask the subconscious is going to take us into one of these 6 categories, and it breaks down into 270 possible imbalances in the body. So these are like the 6 core. So pathogens is a huge one. And, your candida, your different viruses, it'll take us here. And let's say it takes us to you have a parasite. Let's say you're suffering from digestive issues, muscle aches, fatigue, anxiety, depression. This is simply, it could be a parasite in your body. It could be a living one, where then the subconscious will make some recommendations on, what type of medicine or remedy. Just the energetic side. So we'll just ask the subconscious, hey, do you have a parasitic infection? 85 to 95% of the people in the USA have this, or they have the energy body of it. and they're suffering from these things. Simply by releasing this energy, you can get rid of all these issues.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. So that's another one. Then we go into energies. We have offensive energies are huge, but post-traumatic are too. So psychic traumas, this occurred this is when 2 or more emotions can get trapped into your subconscious at a time. So it's like you feel terror and fear at the same time. Mm-hmm. So this was huge after 9/11. You know, people were depressed because this happened.
Yeah.
They were angered, they had hatred, and they trapped all these emotions at one time. These will cause the body to literally go into pain and anxiety and depression. So they're called psychic traumas. Physical trauma is something that happens after some type of physical accident. You trap the emotion. We find this a lot in people who have chronic fatigue, chronic pain diagnoses or whatever. It's typically there's an event that triggers all these emotions to kind of explode in your body. They get trapped all in your back, your neck, all this, and you got all this body pain, aches, and whatever. And it typically happens after a physical trauma. You got into a car accident. You start going to a chiropractor. Then you have pain for 6-7 months, and they say you have fibromyalgia and all this. And this typically happens from a psychic trauma. So this is a physical trauma. This is where energy that occurs when the body is under extreme or sudden physical stress. So that's a common one. Then you have your toxins. So this breaks down from chemical toxins all the way to dental toxins, the things that they're putting in your mouth will put toxic energies in there. Mm-hmm. All the way to your cell phone. The cell phones we're using, the microwave, these are all toxic energies that get trapped into your body. Literally will have you not in an abundant state because it's all getting blocked by these energies. We have your chakras. Your glands can be misaligned. Mm-hmm. When they're misaligned due to energy causing it to be misaligned, can't have children because your uterus and your fallopian tube, they're misaligned. They're not, your eggs aren't flowing, things of that nature. Spiritual disconnects. You know, your spirit can be out of the body. The spirit to physical disconnection, spirit to spirit disconnections. This is like when the spirit is out of different parts of your body. So there's no connection to it. Wow. All the way to, here's another one, offensive energies, curses. Mm-hmm. People, you know, sometimes people curse you. Yeah. And that will cause you to be imbalanced and just will be robbing you. Sometimes people will curse you that you don't have success in your business and you will find yourself stuck. Can't reach your goals and you're like, what is going on? And you have curses on you, or you may be courted to a person that's unhealthy. So we find this in a lot when people are courted to maybe a past lover or something of that sort. And a cord is almost like an umbilical cord. Like a mother has an umbilical cord to a child and she can sense when something's not right with her child. Well, you can create this cord with your ex-husband or your ex-wife or a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and everything they're experiencing, you're experiencing because you have this energetic cord to them. And sometimes that needs to be cut or moved to the heart to create a flow of love and compassion towards each other. So let's say you're in a relationship and the relationship isn't where it needs to be. That cord is to the gut, it's unhealthy. Well, we can move that cord to the heart and send in love and compassion to each other and heal that relationship. Because that's where the cord needs to be, going heart to heart, where love is flowing from. But of course, if you have a heart wall, then you're sending negative energy to that person, even if you have a heart to heart cord. So, what else? Then we go here. Dehydration is a huge one. Sometimes there is need for outside help. So this system isn't biased. Sometimes you need some different type of energy work. So you need 0-point energy, acupuncture. You may need Reiki healing, some touch. So sometimes there's some things that you need that your subconscious is like, hey, you need some other stuff. You need some therapy. So that's one thing I love about this system, because it's just not, oh, you need this and only this. You need chiropractic care. You may need some mental, emotional fitness and just stuff like that. So all the different entities or businesses or professionals that you may go to get healing from or help from, is all in here. All the doctors you see, this takes you to your acupuncture systems, your meridians. Everything's in, and it can all be imbalanced on an energetic side. So a lot of stuff that you think you got to go to the hospital for, it's an energetic imbalance. And that's why so many people who go to the hospitals and the doctors are like, there's nothing wrong with you. You're like, hold on, I'm hurt. And they see the doctors, the medical realm only deals with symptoms. And for us, symptoms is a check engine light.
Yeah.
The check engine light of your car. When you have a symptom, that's your body telling you, hey, something's imbalanced. And so you go to a hospital, and their equipment, their technology isn't designed to see things from this realm. So they'll say, hey, we don't find nothing here, take some medicine. Or they'll say, hey, nothing's wrong, and send you home. Now you're suffering. And as these symptoms get worse, then they start to manifest in the physical form. Now you got a big lump. Now you got cancer. Now you got that. Oh, we got something for you. The doctors have something for you now, because they can now measure and see the problem. So the symptom has to get so bad that they can now prescribe you some type of medication. They can do some type of surgery on you, or do some type of removal. But body has been telling you all along there's something wrong, and you gotten so bad, there's something wrong, but there's nothing in Western medicine that it can deal with what you're dealing with. And that's why this is so dynamic, because we actually can go through the body and assess the body and find out exactly what's going on in the body right now, so those things won't happen to you in the future. And we can remove it now, or if you do have those symptoms, we can take care of them on an energetic side, so they don't manifest in the physical realm, where you have to get drugs, surgery, and removal of organs and glands. So this very thorough and very deep. And we just ask the subconscious what's going on in the body, and the subconscious is gladly and welcoming to what is going on. And we just remove it, and it's that easy.
Wow. Yeah, that's super fascinating and all inclusive. Okay, so earlier I was wondering about the top stuck emotions. I'm curious about that before we sort of wrap this conversation up.
So the top, there's really no.
I mean, is there a theme you're seeing? Like, the name of this symposium is Symposium of Wild Hearts. And so I deeply care about people's hearts and if they have heart walls and stuck emotions. I was just curious if there was any theme that you were seeing.
So heart walls, 96% of everybody in the world has a heart wall. Somebody has went through a traumatic experience where their heart had to be protected and guarded. So a heart wall would be that emotion or that issue that most people have. And when you have a heart wall, you're not following your heart. You're not attracting the right relationships. You're not attracting the right career. You're not living to your fullest potential, period. I don't care if you're worth $10 million. You could be worth $100 million. You're running into some type of block. You can have a fulfilled life, but you can have a more fulfilled life. You can have happiness. You can have more happiness if you have a heart wall. When you remove that heart wall, you get closer to yourself. You feel a lot better. This compassion you have for yourself and the love that you have for yourself, the things you will find yourself open and willing to do for yourself, it's just, you can't even express it. I don't have a heart wall, and animals deal with me differently. I had this cat, and this cat comes up to me, and she just purrs on me. She lays on me. She smells my neck. She just does some weird stuff, like things that most animals wouldn't do. And it just, everything changes.
Yeah.
So I'll say the heart wall is the biggest emotion. But when you look at these emotions, this is all about life. I see 3-year-olds trapped in emotions because of mom and dad's divorce. I see that type of stuff. So it's hard to say what emotion. I see a lot of abandonment. I see a lot of failure. I see a lot of self-abuse. I see a lot of love unreceived, efforts unreceived. Are some very I see a lot of worthless and unworthy.
Yeah.
So I think in today's society, we feel like we always can do better and do more, and we never feel like we're good enough. So even myself, I have removed emotions of unworthy and worthless, and I feel like I'm doing well in life, but I have those emotions trapped. So those are two of the most common emotions, and it's interesting because those are produced out of your glands. Your sexual glands and your adrenal glands, your thyroid gland, and we see a lot of people suffering from thyroid issues, suffering from fatigue and different things of that nature, and that's where these emotions are being produced at. So I would say those are the emotions. If getting tested for a heart wall is important. If you have a heart wall, getting it removed is important. I've seen people's lives change just from getting this work done. And you experience more when your heart's open. It's pure.
Yeah, that's so true.
Just by studying and seeing what we're doing at the Heart Math Institution, the value and what the heart does for our body, to have that energy blocked, to have that energy distorted, to have that communication from your heart being distorted with any of these low vibrational energies, like the lowest vibration, shame, that is hurting your life's potential. And it's worth getting it removed. If you have to choose from a cell phone, a new iPhone, and getting a heart wall, I would get your heart wall removed first. Go get your iPhone.
That's right. That's right. I definitely have greatly benefited from finding out that this work existed and in my own personal life. And I'm grateful to you for being able to work with you and having you on the symposium. Where can people find more information about you?
Great question. So I can be found at discoveredyou.com. That's discoveredyou.com. And of course, same page on Facebook. I'm Emmanuel Bartholomew bin Israel. Be found on Facebook as well. So.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for this presentation. It's fascinating to see that how all-encompassing it is. And it's good to know that there are things like this because we've all been so affected by, you know, many different experiences in our lives. And some of it's just it's so practical, and it makes so much sense that when our hearts are open, we're more vibrant, we attract better things into our lives. It's, you know, there's so much, there's the intuition, there's the science behind it, and then there's that common sense part. So thank you so much for this conversation. Was there anything you'd like to add in closing that you didn't get a chance to?
I would just say, discover yourself, discover you, get more in tune with yourself. I believe 80% of your time should be with yourself.
Wow.
The 80-20 rule. And if you want to take aligned action, be aligned with yourself, and all those wonderful things will just attract to you. When you're in, the world becomes right outside of you. So focus on yourself. Dig deep into yourself. You are more important than anything in this world. And if you cherish you, if you love on yourself, you'll find the world loving on you.
Amen. I love coming to your church services when you get on a roll. I'm just like, there's nothing you say that doesn't make perfect sense. So thank you for your time and your wisdom in this field. And for everybody that's watching, thank you for watching.
Awesome. You have a great day.